Yes, I'd like to honour everyone for making it here on time in your busy day this evening to join us to talk through the Coburg Night Market. Just to let you know that this call is being recorded so that you can utilise it as a resource for yourself afterwards, and anyone that couldn't make it tonight can review the information in this session. So thank you. Thanks for coming and thanks for your interest. Next slide, please. I would like to start by acknowledging our country that we are on here at City of Merri-bek. So Arts Merri-bek acknowledges the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people as the traditional owners and custodians of the lands and waterways in the area currently known as Merri-bek. We recognise their continuous connection to culture, community and country, and embrace their traditional and contemporary cultural and creative expression. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present. If you can go back to the slide for me, please. And emerging, and to all First Nations people who are part of the community today. I would like to acknowledge all First Peoples who are on the call with us this evening. Thank you for joining. And I'd like to acknowledge the land and ancestors of the country that you're calling from if you are not in Merri-bek or on Kulin country. So thank you. Next slide, please. Just going to run through the agenda before handing it over to Deanna, who will take you through the bulk of the presentation this evening. We have our team here to talk through and facilitate and ask questions, help to answer any of the questions that you have around the process. So my name is Naretta Williams. I'm the executive producer of festivals here at the City of Merri-bek. And I just want to go back to talk through the agenda for tonight's session. So we're going to go through the overview and the key dates for Coburg Night Market. We're going to look at the operational details. We will talk through stalls and selection criteria specifically, the EOI application process itself. We'll talk through fees and hires and the Coburg Night Market guidelines. And then we'll have some time at the end to talk through any questions that you have. Next slide, please. I have introduced myself a slide early, which is why Deanna pushed it to the next slide. Thank you. We are joined tonight by our amazing festivals team. So we have Rosie and Anita are our festivals officers, and Anita is the lead producer on this project for us this year and moving forward, which is very exciting. Welcome, Anita. Deanna is our festivals and permits officer, who is your lead in at the Merri-bek end in looking after your stallholder applications. Rosie, I think I mentioned Rosie. Our productions and operations manager, Kelly, is here, and our stallholder manager, Tenniel, is here as well to talk with you and answer your questions. And now I'm going to hand it over to Deanna to talk through the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Naretta. Sorry for speeding through. Thank you, everybody. As Naretta said, my name's Deanna. I'll be one of your point of contact for stallholder applications, along with Anita. And we'll just go over a few details about Coburg Night Market and the application process. So we'll get started. So just an overview of the event itself. Most of you will know it already, but it is one of our big events in December. It attracts around 28,000 attendees, We have it at Bridges Reserve, and it features 1 live music stage, activity zones, chill out zones, 80 or so artisan stalls and food vendors, which is you, and it's also a licensed site. This year, the event is going to be on Thursday the 17th, Friday the 18th, and Saturday the 19th of December, noting that the Saturday will be a little bit of a longer day, starting at 2 in the afternoon and then running until 10 like the other nights. If you are successful as a stallholder, bump in will be on the Thursday the 17th, and you'll be assigned a time to bump in, and the bump out will be on the Saturday after we close up at 10 p.m. onwards. So just some important dates for you. The EOI closes on Monday the 17th of August. So just make sure you get your applications in before then. And the notification of the outcome will be by Tuesday the 1st of September. Successful applicants will have a couple more dates, which is payment of invoices by Friday the 18th of September. And we have a compulsory stallholder briefing and a compulsory online safety induction. And so if you are successful, you will need to attend both of those or complete the induction as well. Moving on, we have just some general event compliance that applies to all of us. So it's a smoke-free event. Power generators are not permitted at all. Pegging or use of stakes are not permitted in our parks. It's a plastic-free event, and it's only closed alcohol sales, which means only sealed, unchilled, pre-packaged takeaway alcohol is permitted. If you were selling anything like that at your stall, you would also need to let us know beforehand in your application. We also have POPE compliance, which is something that we'll go into a little bit more later on. That is a permit that is issued by the building team, and it basically means that there will be safety inspections before trade begins, and any non-compliant stalls might not be allowed to operate. So again, we'll go into some more details later, but that's mostly regarding marquees and your site and the safety around that. Our refund policy is that once you've confirmed your spot and payment is made, no refunds will be provided. And specifically to stallholders, if you're successful, we will be expecting to see your insurance, your public liability, and also any food registration if that applies to you, and also certificates from the food trader statement of trade. So just starting with a broad overview of our stalls, you can select from food and beverage stall, artisan and craft stall, commercial and merchandise, and we also will have some internal Merri-bek council stalls. And we also really encourage First Peoples-led businesses to apply for any of those. And if you're thinking about doing a demonstration or a workshop with your stall, we're more than happy to see what you would like to do. Just make sure you include it in your EOI application. This here lists our selection criteria, which is what we use to assess your applications when they come in. So we are looking at local preference, product quality and uniqueness, stall presentation, experience and reliability. All 3 days of trading is preferred, and small scale makers, as well as safety and setup. Some of these things we might go into a little bit more depth later, but just to say that you may not tick every single one of those selection criteria, as we do need to make sure we're offering a wide range of offerings to the community, but we will always come back to the selection criteria to hit as many of those marks as we can. So onto the application itself. So before you get started, we recommend just getting a few details ready. Obviously your business details and your ABN and your contact details, but we will also request photos and images. So photos of your stall or your product images, and your menu and your pricing as well. So just have those files ready. We'll also be asking about your cooking processes and equipment needs, as well as power requirements. And they're mostly obviously for food and beverage, and we'll go into a little bit more of that later on. When you start your application, the application form will guide you through all the steps that you need to indicate what you need for your stall, basically. So it'll start with stall category, then move on to stall details, so what food or product you are wanting to sell, your site size, so 3x3 or 3x6 metre site, your setup, a marquee, or whether it's a vehicle or food truck, if you are hiring a marquee or bringing your own, and hire options. So we have some add-ons depending on your store that will be power add-ons, weight sets for BYO marquees, and furniture like tables and chairs and battery lights. So just delving a little bit deeper into that, we've got hiring a marquee versus bringing your own. So if you were to hire a marquee, it would be as a whole package, and that includes your marquee, all the appropriate weights, and setup prior to your arrival. However, there is the option to bring your own marquee, but BYO marquees are strongly discouraged. This is because of the POPE permit I mentioned earlier. There is a lot of a compliance for site safety. So if you are bringing your own marquee, you will need to provide the 126A certification certified by a qualified engineer. It must meet the minimum wind load requirements, and it must be rated for commercial event use. And in the guidelines that I show you a bit later on, there is a full list there if you need to refer to those requirements. If you can cover all those requirements and you bring your own marquee, we also offer weights as a package to hire as well. So they come as a full set depending on what size marquee that you will bring. So either a 3x3 or a 3x6 marquee will give you all the weights to make sure that you're compliant. And before we move on, just a reminder that marquees that are found to be non-compliant will not be able to trade. So just making, the best assessment that you can that you have got all those requirements. And another reminder that pegging is not permitted on our site, so you do need the weights regardless. And just looking at food and beverage sites in particular, you may have a non-marquee trading, so you will be able to select this in your application as well. So if you have a vehicle, a cart or caravan or a food truck, you'll be able to select that. Capacity is limited for those though, so we really need you to provide accurate measurements. So making sure that when you measure your vehicle that you're including the drawbar or the tow bar, sorry. And you will be asked which side of the vehicle you trade from as well. Food and beverage sites may prefer to bring a cool room or a chiller. Again, capacity is limited, so we will need to know all of those dimensions and details, and even if you're willing to share a cool room with somebody else. Food and beverage sites can also add power to their site. So you'll need to know how much power you need before you do your application. You'll be able to select 10 amp or 15 amp outlets and how many you need, and that power is charged per outlet per day. And finally, water access. So there will be water stations provided with drinking water and fulfilling containers, but you will need to provide your own kettle to heat the water for your cleaning or your hygiene station. So here we have the fees for all of those mentioned. So as you go through your application, you will see all of these amounts in there. You will start off by selecting your site type, as we have here on the left, which could be food and beverage. And below that, there's artisan and craft and commercial and merchandise. All of those sites have no power and no marquee. So you're selecting the site only per day, and then you'll be choosing your add-ons after that. So again, food and beverage will be able to select their power requirements, as you can see there. And then depending on the site, whether if you have a marquee allocation for either food and beverage or the artisan and commercial sites, you can select the marquee hire with weights and setup. You can select a set of weights to hire if you're bringing your own marquee. And you can add on furniture like the trestle table or chairs or the battery operated LED light. It's worth noting here as well that the non-food and beverage sites do not have power included, so you do need to consider your lighting, the battery powered lighting, for when it gets darker in the evening. Otherwise, I suggest hiring a battery LED light from us when you're doing your application. So once you've gone through that application process and finished your EOI, what happens next? So again, applications close on the 17th of August. We will then review all of those applications using the selection criteria I mentioned earlier, and late applications will not be accepted. You will then be notified whether you're successful or unsuccessful in claiming a spot at Coburg Night Market by the 1st of September. In the event that someone does not confirm their spot or that they cancel, we will have a waitlist internal to fill those spots if necessary. And so if you are successful, you are very close to having a stall with us. There'll be a few last things that you need to do. So we will ask you to confirm your details and provide last documents. So that's like the food trader certificate or the insurance. You'll then receive your invoice and payment instructions. Once you've paid those, your stall is confirmed. After that, you will have to attend the mandatory meeting and this safety induction. And then just before the event, you'll be notified of your site allocation. So that's much closer to the event dates that you'll be told that, but then we'll be ready to go. So everything that I have spoken about tonight is in our stallholder guidelines. We'll have a link here that we can send out to this presentation, but it's also on our website, so I highly recommend reading it through. It also includes a lot of additional information that may be relevant to you, so it's worth reading through. That includes detailed marquee and safety requirements, electrical equipment and gas appliances, stallholder housekeeping, site safety requirements, waste and water access, and preferred serving materials. So those guidelines and the application link to apply can be found on our website if you go to Merri-bek website, or you can use the link below. So thank you everyone for listening. A lot of information there, so I'm guessing you might have some more questions, or even if you want me to repeat any of it, I'd be happy to do so. Otherwise, I'll open it up to my whole team here as well to answer any more questions that you might have. Feel free to put your hand up in Teams, or you can put a question in the chat as well. We'll have someone keeping an eye on that, and we'll do our best to answer all of those. And we've got someone ready to get started.
Thank you for all of that. I wanted to ask about the signed off by an engineer in terms of the marquee. Would we kind of like, I mean, I already put the application in and uploaded the receipt and invoice or whatever of the marquee, which shows the specifications. Do I have to go back to the company and ask for a 126A certification from that supplier?
Yes, you will need that. I'm not sure if someone else in the team wants to jump in there with more details around that. It is something that has become more necessary in recent years that we need that. So I'll let somebody else in the team provide a little bit more detail around it, I think.
Yeah, no, go Rosie. Yep.
Hello, thank you for your question. My name is Rosie. I'll do my best to answer. Yes, so that 126A form is crucial. We can send you through an example of what that form looks like and the details in that form, just to give you an idea and guidance as to how to go about getting that information, if that's helpful for you.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you.
No worries.
In the event of needing not being able to get that certificate for whatever reason, and we hire a marquee, can we put up our own sides and roof because they're pretty?
I'll jump in here again.
Sorry.
Because the marquees, if you hire a marquee, all of that pre-work to set that up will already be installed by the time you get to site. So we wouldn't be able to adjust any of the hire marquee specifications, because again, that would potentially have implications for our place of public entertainment permit. So the hire marquee is as is.
Okay, thank you. And like most of us would have a set of our own weights, but the weight requirement is kind of double the kind of general requirements. I could only hire the whole 160 as opposed to the 80. Like, is that able to be kind of amended, or?
I'll jump in again. It's only the full amount of weights that you would need to secure your marquee that we offer. We've tried in the past to do it, be a bit more flexible with that, but we find that it gets quite complicated quickly. So it's only the full set of weights that we are offering as a hire package.
Okay, great, thank you.
No worries.
Anything else? Don't be shy. Maybe put your hand down if you've had your question answered. Thank you. Thanks, Lena. Go ahead.
Mike. Okay. Hi all. If it's related to the event, but not. But whilst we're speaking about marquees, although I've submitted my application and I've got the food van, but if I was to use my marquee, it's a branded one, and I've just noticed I've never heard of the certificate, so I've just had a look at mine. Mine's a 126D. Is there a difference?
There's a 126A, 126B, and I understand now in a 126D. So we have, yes, the popes have been a requirement for a couple of years now. But the compliance, like the stringency around the compliance is also increasing. So we have found that we've also had to provide much more specific engineering reports for like particular items on site. So that is the advice. Our building surveyor will sign off on those, and that is the particular request from our office. So in order to get that over the line and the permit to be signed off, which can only happen on the day, which is why we kind of make sure that you are as informed as possible at the outset. Yeah, so that there aren't any surprises on site at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the different certificates, does that come down to the type of steel used in the frame of the marquee? Because the guys that built mine, they said, you know, like it tells me all the wind and all of that, and they said this will outstand blah blah blah. Like, so does it come down to the type of steel, or what's the difference in the letters?
So the difference between the 126A and the difference between the 126B, I can only answer because I'm not sure of the 126D, but feel free to send it through to us and we can get further information from our building surveyor.
Oh, awesome.
So the 126A is for the structural integrity, so how the marquee was built. Basically, it's the engineer who designed the marquee saying this is a structurally sound infrastructure that is safe to put up. The 126B is, okay, you've put up your marquee, and now we need to assess that you've installed that marquee correctly on site. So that's the tick of approval that you get once the marquee is erected on site, the correct weights are placed on it, and the engineer will go, yes, I can visually see that this marquee is erected in accordance to its 126A form and how it was built. So it's a sort of a two-step process.
Yeah. It's also identifying materials that are flame retardant or not, that kind of thing, like to do with the canvas.
I wish I knew that before I spent $3,500 on it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. It's good to know.
If you've spent that, I mean, that sounds like a professional commercial purchase. If it's something,
it is a commercial one, yeah.
Yeah, so you can, we're happy to have a look at it. Just review your supplier, but that sounds like the price point for that would come with the certification that we would require. Yep.
Amazing. All right, who will I send it to?
You can send it to the email address that's on your screen now. So the Coburg Night Market at merri-bek.vic.gov.au. And if you want to contact someone at the office, your people are Anita and Deanna.
Amazing. Thanks. Thank you.
Can I ask another marquee question? Sorry, Janelle. Last year we have a very heavy duty commercial grade marquee. However, we hired weights, we had our own weights, and then we hired extra weights to meet the requirements. But the weights, the hole or whatever wasn't big enough to actually fit around the thickness of the marquee. Like, it's quite a chunky, solid marquee, but the weights didn't actually fit. They kind of mucked around and, and got it to a point where it was kind of secure and safe and all that. But they, the poles are too thick for those weights.
That's a great
stressful. Yeah.
That's a really good point. I'm sure that get in touch if we know exactly the like the gauge of your poles. We can let our production team know and see if that we can source weights that fit those lengths.
Right. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Good point. I saw another question here. Bandesh, did I see your hand up before?
We're all good. We're sorry, we're starving. We're eating pizza.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Chuan, I think I'm not sure if that's how I pronounce your name, made the comment here. If you email your company, they would have the certificate, especially if you spent that much. So yeah, definitely reach out to the supplier of your marquees. They should be able to hopefully be very helpful in that respect also.
Yeah, I had to email like with other events, and I got requested for the certificates. And I also too have spent quite a bit of money on my marquees. So yeah, they more than likely will have the certificate that you would need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions at all? Did anyone want me to repeat anything that I mentioned in the presentation?
I had a question. Hi, everyone. I'm Anita, and this is my first week here. I'm really excited about helping run this beautiful market. So every night, does every stallholder, food trucks might be a bit more obvious because they need to perhaps leave site, but does every stallholder have to pack up their stuff and go, or how does that work? Or does it depend on people's items, whether they want to pack it up and bring it back the next day, or because I know there is some security overnight.
Do you want me to jump in here?
Sounds good. Tennille.
Yeah, sure. Yes, there is security that is overnight. So they are there to make sure that the site remains secure. We do say that it is up to everybody's own discretion as to what they leave on site. Obviously, if the marquees... Oh, sorry, I've got echo. Obviously, if the marquees are secure with 4 walls, you zip them up, and therefore it makes it a little bit more secure when there's not things visible. But yeah, it is at the discretion of each stall holder. In the past, to be honest, most people have left everything there, and we've not had any issues. But yeah, it is at everyone's discretion. There is only, I think there's, I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2 security on site overnight. So obviously they can't have eyes on every part of the park. So, but yeah, they are on site.
I'm not sure how many people are here who are here on the call have been before, or are seasoned professionals, or new to Coburg Night Market. But I just wanted to make a statement, or just talk a little bit about the selection process. So the Coburg Night Market stallholder applications is very competitive. We get far more applications that we can fit on the site. And so the more information that you can put in your application, the better photos that you can sort of provide as far as how your stall is set up, the better. Having said that, whilst we have a very clear selection criteria, you may meet the selection criteria but still not be offered a place at the market, and that will likely simply be because we only have very limited spaces on the site. So I'd just like to preface this whole conversation with we encourage all of your applications, but to just be mindful that it is we're limited as far as how many people we can support each year, so that the more work that you can do on strengthening your application at this point, the better.
Question in the chat from Kelly Flanagan, who says, I am new and don't have any photos of my previous stalls. Is that okay?
Yep. Hi, Kelly. I think I've got you there. Hi. Yes, that's okay. Have you got your marquee? Have you got a stall set up? Is there something that you could set up your marquee and maybe photograph your tables, or do you have product photos of what you'd like to bring?
I mean, I don't have any of that. I'm using your marquees.
Okay.
That kind of thing. The other, like I've done Sydney Road markets at the Indigenous section, but I don't have any photos of any of it. So, okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure what I should. I know for next time to get plenty of photos.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, just including some photos of your products, and maybe you can make a note of that you're a part of the Black Dot Market area for Sydney Road. We might be able to find some references for that as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Lena, have you got your hand up again? Is that you?
Lena, me?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, hi. I did ask Deanna, I think I spoke to you on the phone, Deanna, regarding this question, and I did ask, do you tend to accept applications only from vendors in the Merri-bek Council? And you said more likely you do. Was that right, Deanna? You tend to accept applications from vendors at the Merri-bek?
Sorry. It is a priority that we look at for the selection criteria, but as I mentioned, you know, we still need a wide range of stalls. So it's not, you know, 100%, because we do need to be offering a wide range of things. So
Yeah.
it just depends on the applications that we get. But it is, you know, one of our focal points.
Yeah. So does that mean you don't select the same ones every year as you had the previous year, even within your council?
We don't. The
yeah, thanks,
selection
Martha.
process, sorry, is a new selection and a rigorous selection process every year. We have a full panel that goes through every single one of the applications together. That is a mix of people from our team, Tennille and the Callan-Co production team. We also invite other strategic, like, members of council, like collaborators as well, we have in the past, to make sure that we have some balanced perspectives. So we'll be looking at the fit of the offering of what you've got at your stall, and then we'll be looking at, you know, really nuts and bolts technical things, like how we can logistically fit you in the site, whether, you know, there's a whole range of things. But we are guided by the selection criteria at all times. They are our points of reference. But we go through a thorough process. We don't have there are no residencies at the market, if that's helpful to understand. Like, there's no sort of standard returning stalls. We assess them on merit every year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? The guidelines are your source of truth. So read them thoroughly. And of course, often some questions might bubble up after we've had this yarn tonight. So feel free to process over the next day or two and reach out to any one of us in the office with your specific questions. We're really happy to respond and assist you as best we can.
Well, thank you, Naretha. Yes, as Naretha said, just contact us by that email, and we do have the last slide here that has the links to the website and the application, and we will pass out this recording and a copy of this document as well, so that you can come back and refer to this alongside the guidelines as well. But I think if no one's got any more questions, we might wrap it up. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you again, everyone, for coming, and we hopefully look forward to seeing your applications come in.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.